everyone, Spencer here, also known as Screen Speak, and in today's video, this is my X-Men 97 Season 2 spoiler review. So without further ado, let's discuss. Alrighty everyone, so I'm torn about how I feel about this season, because I finished it today. And, you know, sorry, I got a live stream playing there. But as I'm thinking about it, I think the first season was great, and I think this season is good in its own way. But, you know, there's something I want to discuss in today's video, as I like to do. There's something I want to break down. And that is the fundamental question. I guess this is less so a spoiler review as opposed to a let's break down how I really feel about Marvel TV. Now, I want to give you... I thought about this right after watching the season and listening to the Real Rejects talk about this. And, you know, the animation is great. 10 out of 10 animation. I think what this season did, you know, and Marvel Television and Star Wars Television, like the Disney Plus shows, they need to stop. I have a counter to that. They don't need to stop. Star Wars needs to be freaking theatrical, like they used to be, like with even the sequel. Even though people hate the sequels, I enjoyed seeing them in the theaters, the theatrical events. Marvel has had movies since Endgame, like their big event, like the Rise of Skywalker and the Endgame. Those were the big events of 2019. And then, since COVID, we've had the Star Wars shows, we've had Marvel shows, we've had Marvel movies. Now, I think with Vision Quest, the new Vision show that's coming out this year, that's going to be my end. That's going to be my end of Marvel TV shows. But I think I won't be watching Daredevil Season 3, Daredevil Born Again Season 3. I've had enough. But I think that both, even DC included, but I'm talking about like the Disney properties, Star Wars and Marvel, need to stick to theatrical movies and animated TV shows. This one, I think, is out the window. I think that Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man that's getting a Season 2 can continue. The reason I don't think this, and they can do other animated shows, like a Marvel Zombies, like more of Marvel Zombies, I think this is done. And when this ended, they teased Mystique. I didn't get at all remotely excited. I was like, oh, okay. The way this season, I was like, no, spoiler, Nightcrawler dies. He sacrificed himself. Now, I could only see them continuing this if they had a great idea for like the Nightcrawler storyline. But this season sort of feels like, it doesn't say to be continued like last season, but I was almost about to say before the season ended, oh great, they're going to do another to be continued because they don't know what to do, or they don't have enough time to finish this. They wrap up the Apocalypse storyline, but they're teased something else, as does every, you know, a lot of superhero things, a lot of properties tease something. But a couple of my issues, points, problems, is that one, like, I don't think, two things. One, if they have an idea for another season, it didn't feel like as big of a tease. It just felt like, okay, look, Nightcrawler, like, this would be the second time now that, okay, Gambit died in the first season, which was a way bigger and more impactful moment than Nightcrawler did in this season, because it didn't feel built up. It felt like Apocalypse just was there in the first half of the season and then gone in parts of it, in like the middle section, and then back in the last two episodes. But then, like, if they bring Nightcrawler back, it'll be like what they just did with Gambit. And not that I don't want to say something about Nightcrawler, but again, this brings me to my next point, is that if they have X-Men in a live action new in the MCU after Avengers Doomsday, you know, they're bringing back the Fox X-Men. We got Cyclops looking like he does here in the MCU in the Avengers Doomsday. Can't wait for that. But if you do that, if you bring the X-Men into Doomsday, like wipe them, like say, like have a nice farewell, then Secret Wars happens, and then we reboot the X-Men in MCU, and you're still doing this show, It is too much X-Men. As much as I love them and love this show. I mean, I have this shirt because of the show, and I love this. Like, the original show was great. It's too much. I think it's too much for the audience. And this is my analogy. Not that you can't have multiple Spider-Man or multiple Batman. Hell, you had Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck's Batman and The Flash, and then you had Robert Pattinson's Batman come out. And James Gunn wants to put out his Batman movie, which will probably never be put out, but I digress. The fact of the matter is, let's go back to Spider-Man. We have Into the Spider-Verse trilogy coming out like next year, and Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but that's completely different. Want to know why? Because it's not two Miles Morales storylines. Now, yes, the X-Men, they never said they're going to do the 90s X-Men in MCU, but I'm saying it's too much X-Men. It's too much X-Men. Because if you had like some of these characters the MCU has, then they're like, well, I can't follow this and this. Which I'm sure there's some people that could follow it, but it's too much. It's just too much in my opinion. After I finished watching this season, I was like, I enjoyed it. I know I have one of my good friends is like enjoys this X-Men stuff, but I think for the average casual audience member, it's too much. Just like if there was Across the Spider-Verse or Spider-Verse trilogy going on, and Miles Morales or in the MCU, it'd be way too much. Way too much. So yeah, I don't know. I feel really disappointed because Apocalypse seemed great, and frankly, I don't mind the Apocalypse movie, and I feel like they've never known how to get Apocalypse right. And here's the other thing: they might try to do Apocalypse in the MCU, and I think they need just to wipe this show clean slate. And I think they need to do Apocalypse. I think they need to do the Dark Phoenix again. I think MCU has high hopes for X-Men, but again, I'm also a little cheaped out of the way they brought Gambit back. It was like this big. It felt was going to be like this big moment, and then they just hug each other, and then like Nightcrawler's dead, and I'm like, where was this? Like, it wasn't as big of a like thrust as in Supergirl when Krem, the bad guy, just takes out that one family in the beginning of that movie. It wasn't as bad as that, but just kind of the whiplash. That was like the total whiplash in Supergirl was terrible, but the whiplash here, where I'm like, oh, cool, Gambit's back. I don't know how I'm supposed to be feeling this moment. Like, they're hugging out, Rogue and Gambit, and all of a sudden, there's a sacrifice, and Nightcrawler sacrifices himself. I'm like, huh? And then the season ends, and then we get a post-credit scene that Mystique's here. I'm like, okay, sure, I guess. And I wasn't, like, ultimately disappointed. I mean, I'm disappointed. I ultimately wasn't, like, I didn't hate it. I don't have an issue with this season. Actually, I do. I don't have an issue with, like, the way it ended, per se. I just think this show needs to be done. And now, here's the thing. Back when The Bad Batch was out, like, being released, and I said, oh, guys, I am not, like, I hated the way Bad Batch Season 2 ended. Like, I hate it. Like, it was so bad. I said I went to binge watch Star Wars Rebels, and was never going to watch Season 3 of The Bad Batch. Now, this is not like that. And then I ended up watching third season because it was the final season. Now, if they end up doing something like that, like saying, hey, guys, Season 3, like, if they say we're canceling it, I'm like, okay, cool, I get it, that's fine. Now, they could, I mean, X-Men potentially starting 2028, and that would go along with this took like 2-ish years to put out in summers. So, I think that they need to stop, but if they say Season 3 is their their final one, I might watch it, but I just think they need to... Now, it could be... They could do a third and final season, but at the same time, that might be like when they're starting their new X-Men, and I just feel like they just need to wipe it now. But let me know what you think in the comments below. That's my ultimate question. Like I said, the animation's great. Gambit, I guess it's back, but they didn't have a full hurrah. Like, it just feels... Well, actually, no, he did get... But he was more controlled by Apocalypse, and that's kind of where I feel like his character was wasted, and... I like the first season a lot more, so it was cool. Before I leave, I do want to say a couple things. Episode 2 with the X-Force title, the intro, amazing. Cable seemed to be an idiot at the end. I didn't like that at all. He's just like, I gotta shoot Apocalypse, I gotta shoot Gambit. And I'm like, I have no idea. Like I said, the tonal whiplash was awful, I think. I think, I'm thinking more and more, I think the first season nailed that chemistry. And when they were all split up, here's the other crazy thing. I was really hoping, like, I have to agree with John Campea a little bit. I feel like the story was so quick, and then it just deviated from Apocalypse to then, like, the Danger Room episode to the Nightcrawler episode in the season was great. But then it's like, when they're all split up, when they like, we have to go back and save the X-Men from the 90s, or like last season ended, like to be continued, or bring them back to the 90s or whatever. I thought it was going to be more impactful to the season. It was like, oh yeah, Cable and Forge, not Cable and Forge, it was, was it Cable and Forge? Bishop and Forge. Like, we just had this device. Whoop, let's go back in time and save them. This isn't the first time we've done it. Whoop. And I'm like, that was the easiest thing. Save them in the first 3 episodes. Now, yes, it took them 3 episode arc, but I thought it was going to be like 7 episodes, build up, finding them, and then the final, like, 3 episodes was fighting Apocalypse, was fighting Apocalypse. But then it was just this random meandering, and I'm like, what are we doing? Like, it wasn't as bad as Mando Season 3, whatever that was, but I'm just like, okay, it was so easy to find them, and then all of a sudden, where is the build-up to Apocalypse? Cool, we found them in the night, we brought them back to their era. What is going on? So, I'm a little disappointed. Let's see. Final score, I'd give it a generous 6 out of 10, but I was hoping for... I mean, the animation is a 10 out of 10. That doesn't... I'm sorry, if this was if this was the third Beyond the Spider-Verse movie, I would be really angry. But this is what I hope the third Spider-Verse doesn't do. And this is the second out. But this is... Yikes. I mean, but again, it's a TV show. It's not a movie. I believe in the Russo brothers. The Lord and Miller to do the third Spider-Verse, but that's neither here nor there. But animation's a 10 out of 10, but I was really disappointed by at the end of it and watching. Because I look forward to it every week. Like, this wasn't Bad Batch or The Boys or House of the Dragon where I went, oh yeah, another thing this week. Like, I tune in every week for this show. So, yeah, it just disappoints me. Because I actually like I love Rick and Morty a lot. I mean, that's my favorite show, Rick and Morty. But you let me know if you watched this season in the comments below. And did you like it? Did you like it more than I did? Did you not have any problems with it? I'd like to know. I'd really like to know your honest thoughts and stuff. But do you think they need to just wipe it? Do you think that, do you agree with me that you're going to watch Vision Quest and that's going to be it for the Disney Plus shows? Because I'm going full circle on this. I'm going, WandaVision was the first show, and Vision Quest is the final show, Disney Plus show that I've ever watched. Not including animated. So, if they do more Marvel Zombies, I'll watch that. But I think animated is the way to go. The last live-action Disney Plus show I watched, it bookends with WandaVision and Vision Quest. So, it's pretty cool stuff. You let me know what you think of all this in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys next time for the End of Oak Street spoiler review coming out this Friday. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow me. Don't forget to keep calm. Watch the screen. Peace out, everyone. Bye.